told me she was dating my fiancé. Yep, this is exactly what it sounds like. I am 22. Engaged to my fiancé John, 25, for the past 6 months, and we've been dating since my freshman year of university. I was 17 and he was 20. These past 5 years of dating have been amazing, and John has always been the perfect gentleman and the best boyfriend. He's kind, takes me on dates, and has been showering me with gifts, especially after becoming engaged. My parents met him 2 years after we started dating. But my sister, Sarah, 24, has never met him as she resides in United Kingdom. Last month, John had to go to the UK for work as he had a deal to work out. And in my head, I thought about telling him to stay with Sarah. But since we are not on the best terms, I didn't tell John anything. About Sarah living in the UK, John's trip was originally scheduled for 3 weeks, but he extended his trip 2 more weeks to,
Get some more work done.
and I just accepted it. After all, he's been nothing short of perfect, and this was the least that I could do. John returned 2 months ago, and since then, he'd been acting different. He wanted to take me on more dates, get me more things, but with my college schedule, it was all incredibly hectic. But he wasn't taking no for an answer. A week ago, we had a family gathering for my parents' 40th anniversary, and my sister was in attendance, which was a big deal because she didn't come to the US very often. When she came, I was already there. But John was still at work, so he was coming a bit later. When Sarah met me, she was uncharacteristically happy to see me, but I entertained it. She kept telling me about this wonderful guy that she met and how happy she was and how handsome he was, and basically just singing praises. Sarah's always been prettier and more popular than me, though she was a bit psycho at times, so I wasn't surprised to see that she had been dating a guy like that. When I asked her about the status of their relationship, she almost immediately became peeved and rolled her eyes and started talking about all the things that he was gifting her. That asked her why he is currently. And she said that he lived in the US and had come to the UK for work. I asked her for how long, and she said a bit more. Then a month. Okay, weird, all of those things. Could chalk up to be coincidences though, so I just silently nodded and let her gloat, but inside I was a bit apprehensive. It all went to sheesh when John finally arrived. When I opened the door for him, Sarah went berserk, screeching his name, going up to him, hugging him, and kissing him all over his face like some kind of crazy girlfriend. John did not reciprocate at all, but he definitely knew who she was, glared at her, and pulled her off of him. Before walking towards me, I just left the party, and I am still so mad that I can barely contain myself. I changed the lock to my apartment, blocked him everywhere, and I am staying with a few friends currently. I can't bring myself to believe it. I always thought that John and I were perfect for each other, and after some digging, my sister had been working in the same office that he had been working in the UK. Was it some kind of office fling? I don't even want to think about him anymore, and I am just devastated. TLDR, my perfect fiance went to the UK, and then my sister told me that she dated a guy. Turns out they were the same person, and she's crazy in love with him.
Relevant comments.
I don't feel as if I am pretty in the wrong, and I do not want to hear him out. He has cheated on me, and that is inexcusable. And all my friends are on his side trying to get him to explain himself. I'm currently getting in contact with a few of his colleagues to see what was going on, but it feels pretty awful right now. Oh my god, that is horrific to think about, but you are so right. Perhaps I was blinded by his perfection that I didn't see anything that is happening on the side. Geez, I haven't been crying for the past 6 days just to get called fake by some random internet person. Fine, I'll entertain this one. My friends think that I owe John a chance to explain because knowing Sarah's past behavior, it's the logical thing to do. None of my friends know much about Sarah, except for how traumatic my relationship with her has been. Second, I realized that asking John's co-workers is a bad idea, and I was very distraught when I thought of it. Now I know that it's stupid. Third, I've been at my friend's place, and my parents have reached out to me to make sure that I am okay. Nothing more, just to check in to make sure I'm alright. They've called, and my cousins have texted me. I have not responded to most of them. I don't know if she knows that he was my fiance or not, but we are following each other on Instagram, and I have a few posts of him there, so now that I think about it, it's pretty likely, but this just feels so out of character for him that I am in shock. I don't know if John knew what Sarah looked like or not because we don't really have a good sisterly relationship. I haven't talked to my sister after the night of our parents' anniversary party, and frankly, I don't want to. After some thinking, she probably knew that John was my fiance and went after him on purpose. I could make a whole new post just on Sarah's antics. She's always been acting entitled, manipulative, and toxic towards everyone, not just me, but nothing to the degree of trying to steal my boyfriend or fiance. You make a really good point, but I don't know who to trust at this point. I guess she's always been jealous of anything I do, so this seems on brand for her. But if that's not the case, I don't want to go back to John. I would email John's coworker, but what is stopping me is that I don't know if they work for the same company or not. I just know that they work in the same building. Would his coworkers still know anything then? She was pretty manipulative towards people, but nothing this bad. She went to therapy for a while before going to the UK. She had a severe bout of depression and anxiety, plus an eating disorder, or which one I never asked. I don't think they work for the same company. They just work in the same office building, based on my digging. Sorry if that part didn't come off clearly. When I saw his reaction, I thought that it was just because I was there and I wouldn't want to hug a past fling in front of my fiancé. He knows that she exists. We have just been out of contact for a while ever since. She came back from the psych ward a few years ago. We went almost completely no contact since then. I really don't know how my parents reacted. I walked out as soon as I saw John and Sarah. My parents texted me asking if I was okay, and that was it. My cousins haven't told me anything about what happened. I just asked them to give me space. Ben and Jerry's was my only solace. Edit. After some conversation in the comment section, we have discerned that since my sister follows me on Instagram and I have posted about my fiance there, she knew that we would engage. I don't know if Sarah and John worked in the same company. I only know that they worked in the same office building. It's not a stretch, but I don't have those facts yet. Also, sorry if it was not clear before, but John probably does know what Sarah looks like from childhood photos and what I have showed him on social media, and she has been a connection of his on LinkedIn. I'm going to contact Sarah and ask her how she knows John. Edit 2. To all the people saying that this is fake or I'm a bot troll, I swear that I'm not. I really wish that this was fake or just creative writing. I don't even get that one because then I wouldn't be as heartbroken as I am right now. I am scheduled to talk to John tomorrow and I will update everyone.
Update 3 months after.
3 months ago, John and I had a heart-to-heart conversation about what happened in London. John told me that Sarah somehow found out his place of work, tried stalking him, and telling all his London coworkers that they were in a relationship, getting her invited to pubs with them, etc. John said that her behavior was very disturbing and that was why he was so fazed when he saw her here. He just did not expect it. Honestly, I felt horrible. My fiance was going through something that I could not even imagine and I iced him out for a week because of my own insecurities with my sister. I truly do love him so much, but this feels like a hurdle that we cannot get over, even though it has been 3 months. The guilt still eats away at me, and it's tough to think that I was the bad person in the situation, but it's true. John and I took it a bit slower. We went on a break for a month, and then got back together a month and a half ago. I don't know where we stand anymore. It's like our relationship has gone back to the early days of us being awkward 17 and 20-year-olds, and it's not a place I want to be in with him. I've completely cut Sarah and my parents out of my life. John encouraged me to do so, as they were all incredibly toxic. And I'd like to think that we are slowly building our relationship back up again. It is tough, and I'm not going to lie. All in all, I am heartbroken, and I feel like I have lost all this that he had in me. I did not think that what I did was truly irrational, but looking back, and from a conversation that I had with John, I realized that I was the one in the wrong. And it's been hard to admit it to myself. Jan went on a few half dates with his coworker before we got back together, and I can't even bring myself to feel pained about it. He has expressed before that it's lucky that we are getting a chance together again. And I do not want to mess that up. We've been dating for 5 years and I do not want to throw it all away by being a jealous person. So I hope that this post brings the closure that the other post needed.
Update 5 days after.
Right now, I'm just preparing to break up with my fiancé. I love him so much, but I've gotten some information that he might be cheating on me with my sister, but I really don't want to. I've been with this man since I was 17, and I've known him since I was even younger than that. We met when I was 15, so he's been in my life for almost 7 years. How do I break up our engagement? And how do I emotionally recover from this incident?
For now update.
I did not think this would get this big. Like 2.5 years later, guys, yeah, I broke up with him. He was totally manipulative, and my parents and I are on talking terms again. I am not really that close with my sister, but we never were best friends to begin with. So I don't really give a fudge about it that much. I got into a short relationship, but I am definitely very single right now, which I feel like is for the best. LOL.